Spoiler warning for Blue Lock's NEL. After the Neo Egoist League, or NEL for short, concluding, it's time to talk about the most major outcome of the arc. I figured it would be an appropriate time to talk about this topic after the heat has settled down and too many of these slanderous Nagi X McDonald's edits. Guys, we know he's coming back. He's got his own goddamn fucking spin-off manga, so there is absolutely no way he won't make his comeback. But for the time being, our lazy genius's elimination from Blue Lock has some ideas I would like to talk about today. The signs were there from the very beginning. Nagi was the lazy genius, so how could he have an ego? He doesn't even want to be there in the first place, let alone actually try. With the assistance of players with top playmaking abilities always around him, he never really had to think for himself or do anything by himself. Therefore, that's what he needed to do to succeed in the NEL. He survived for a bit with the help of his boyfriend Ryo. He even hit a fucking clip on Isagi, pulling out the absolutely most dastardly move that put him in the dirt. A 5-stage fake out volley shot that was the anomaly of anomalies. He got his spin back on Isagi, finally beating him, but that was just the beginning of the end. Ego, like always, made the correct prediction, and this time it was about Nagi's downfall. He was like, Nagi is never doing something like that again. It just isn't possible to replicate something like that. We were visibly shown the signs too. Nagi, after scoring that breathtaking banger, had his aura fade away, which is whatever, it'll come back, right? Baro in his match against Manshine City calls him out for it too. Nagi's lost his edge. He isn't even the annoying pain in the ass that's hungry and competitive anymore. No longer possessing that drive, he's a shell of his former self from not long ago. Baro is on the money because after the conclusion to the NEL, Nagi is gone. He didn't make the cut for the U20 Japanese team. Narrative genius. That makes me cry, man. Latest to my boy. Him and Ryo's breakup was so hard to watch. Ego said it best. Nagi, after beating Isagi, lost his drive to become the best. His hunger and determination dissipated, and crutching on Ryo was never going to last forever. He couldn't adapt to the situation at hand, choosing to pass to Ryo at the last minute because he was too scared. That was his downfall, and an utter disgraceful move to make as an egoist. Scared of being alone again, scared of not being with his boyfriend, he lost being a genius. Their dream ends here. They won't be the best in the world together, but Ryo still can. Him and Ryo swapped places. Ryo was the one who was unable to adapt and move on initially. However, the further Blue Lock progressed, the more the two reversed. Ryo was adapting and becoming better, whilst Nagi couldn't let go and stagnated. Dead horse idea on this channel, but TLDR, loneliness equal a human being's worst enemy. Human beings are social creatures who crave connection. We were not born into this world to be alone, therefore Nagi's course of actions make perfect sense. Ryo, his only friend ever, gave him so much through the world of football. Fun, joy, passion, ambition, and memories that he will treasure forever. He didn't want to lose being with the special person that gave him all that. The someone who saw the potential for what he could be when no one else would even notice him. He wanted to avoid losing that at all costs. This is stacked on top of the fact that he lost the unrelenting drive to win. Take notes from Rukawa, bro. Beating Isagi was never supposed to be the end goal, and Nagi lost sight of what was truly the most important after that. The most important thing being to be the best in the world. Inadvertently, beating Isagi was his best and worst moment. He got his lick back on Isagi, and the crowd was screaming, "I'm crowd," but at the cost of his drive and purpose. This led to him unintentionally just getting worse, or no longer improving at least, with the end result being the most unfortunate of outcomes. The lazy genius lost his genius. He was just lazy now, and so lazy that he didn't make the team. So many people made the team over Nagi that we could have never seen coming in a million years. Our boy was lost, and he paid the ultimate price. He lost lost the happiness he experienced being a part of Blue Lock. A fun that coasting by, playing video games and slacking off could never compare to, and most importantly, his shared dream of becoming the best in the world with Rayo. His natural talent got him further than most, but it could only get him so far until he was faced with a wall that only he himself could overcome. The EryiZ was the birthplace for that wall, and he could indeed not overcome it himself. Shown in the spin-off manga or the special episode Nagi, this guy thought he could take that game-winning shot in a World Cup before Blue Lock even started. A moment like that came, and he folded and chose to pass. Rather than trying to win, he was just trying to survive. Therefore, he chose to pass believing his survival could come through not himself. He forgot how to ignite the flame that compels him to win at all costs. So, how is Nagi after all this? Pretty distraught, no lie. The guy who never shows any emotion just keeps seeing reminders that Blue Lock is no longer his life. His soccer career was fun, but it's over now. However, all these things that keep bringing his mind back to that place gets to him. All that time he spent there, he loved with all his heart, a joy that this everyday life can't get out of him. He misses it so goddamn much, knowing he will never get it back. So he breaks down. He tries telling himself it's fine, but nah, it ain't. Nah, it ain't. The guy who never showed any care or emotion reached his breaking point. He finally shows emotion, and it's heartbreaking. He didn't know how good he had it until it was gone. It all slipped away so fast. Now, at his wit's end, he can't do anything but just cry. The lifestyle, the chase, the dedication, now all in the past. The luxury of the freedom to day by day focus solely on becoming the best is a dream that will stay being just a dream. Any of us could very well turn out like how Nagi did. If we become complacent in our own journeys, we might just lose it all. Satisfied with only overcoming a hurdle that's minuscule in the grand scheme of things, we'll lose our drive to chase what we initially sought out. Our future selves filled with regret, constantly reminding ourselves we should have tried harder at what we wanted the most. We didn't comprehend how good we had it and how much of a luxury it was to be in a state of consistent hard work. That all being dedicated and entirely fixated to our pursuit for a dream we wanted to turn into a reality. There were still so many things not left out there that overwhelms us with utter regret and shame for not giving it our all. That is how we shouldn't turn out to be like. In 20 years, you don't want to be thinking back and having thoughts like, oh, I should have put in more effort. Shit like that will just never sit right in your stomach. There is not enough time in this world to risk having a future imbued in memories that are haunted by the ideas of you shoulda, coulda, woulda. You don't want to be in Nagi's current state of lamenting the fact that he should have been better. He should have tried. A life like that isn't one worth the misery that torments your mind so much. Even if you have talent, it can only do so much for you. Hone that talent and make it bloom into something so much fucking greater than you could ever imagine. Because doing otherwise doesn't mean you aren't susceptible to a downfall similar to Nagi's. His genius only carried him so far before he fell off. Whatever it is you want the most in this world, no matter the fucking result, give it your absolute fucking all. Don't ever lose that hunger, the drive, that uncontrollable impulse to accomplish what your heart truly seeks out. The thing that gives you happiness, a joy unique only to you, that no one could ever take away. Pour your everything into it. Work endlessly and tirelessly to make it work and see it through. Roadblocks will come and they might scare you away, but don't let the seemingly unclimbable wall stop you in your tracks. Regardless of how much of a daunting task it may be, don't let what can be conquered get in the way of the real finish line. The first obstacle, being beaten, shouldn't have you satisfied either, because there are so many more that have yet to come. But those who can adapt, change, evolve, and overcome will get to their final destination, no matter how long it takes and how many times over they have to get back up again. Keep trying relentlessly so that when you recall this pastime, there is no bitterness, no sorrow, no regret. A happy memory saying you gave it 100% regardless of you not knowing the outcome. You strived without the security of knowing a good end result, and that's all that fucking matters. Because at least you tried. Even if you don't get your desired result, at least you gave it a shot. You can't fail or know you would if you didn't even try in the first place. Fuck the naysayers who are too cowardly to try but give you all that shit talk. They were too scared to even attempt trying to achieve their dreams because they're that fearful of failing. So you ain't gotta pay any peace of mind to none of that. No need to listen to people trying to tear you down and bring them to their level. There is no time machine to get any of what happens back, so leave it all out there for the world and most importantly for you. That's it for me today. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Subscribe and stay for more. I'm trying to hit 1k before the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you did. Comment down below anything about the video, series, thoughts or opinions you might have. I'd love to hear them all. Other than that, have a blessed day and thank you for watching.